In this short video, we want to talk about an introduction to marketing. In fact, all I want to do is to look at some definitions of marketing and to give a very basic and brief overview of what is meant by marketing. So it's a very straightforward video. Let's start with some definitions. The Chartered Institute of Marketing, the body that looks after marketing, the professional body that looks after marketing, they see marketing as it's the management process that identifies, anticipates and satisfies customer requirements profitably. Nice definition. Marketing is the management process. It's a management process that identifies, anticipates and satisfies customer requirements, and it does so profitably. I think that's very, very straightforward. Each of the terms, of course, could be discussed in more detail, but that would make probably for a better seminar session than a session here. It's a management process, that's for sure, and it tries to satisfy customer requirements, identify customer requirements and satisfy them, and not just satisfy the customer requirements but satisfy them profitably so that the business may continue and prosper. The next definition is more extensive, offered by the American Marketing Association. Marketing is the process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion and distribution of ideas, goods and services to create exchanges that satisfy individual and organizational objectives. However, if you think about this, it's very similar to the previous definition. It's still trying to identify and satisfy customer requirements. And I think the Chartered Institute of Management definition, by inserting the word profitably, was slightly more complete. It's not just a question of satisfying customer objectives, but satisfying them at a profit. Because if there is no profit, the business will not exist. Nonetheless, that's a widely used definition. And Kotler, who was a very well-known writer in marketing, defined marketing as a social and management process by which individuals and groups obtain what they want and need through creating and exchanging products and values with others. So it's a social and managerial process by which individuals and groups obtain what they want and need through creating and exchanging products. A bit more abstract, I suppose, in terms of the way he uses words, but of the three, I think the Chartered Institute of Marketing, the first definition, was it's easier to handle, and because it encompasses the realism of the marketplace, that the company must make a profit, I think is probably a better definition. However, those three are widely quoted and used, so it's important just to know them. Now let's look at marketing itself. Well, it's concerned with customers' needs and wants in the marketplace. Well, it must do. It must be aimed at something, so that's what it's aimed at. That's what it does. It looks at customers' needs and wants, and the whole idea is to satisfy the needs and wants. And that could be a very broad picture. It could be not just making a product that the customers want, but also having after-sales service. It's a total thing. It's the service in the delivery of the product, it's the packaging of the product, it's the terms on which it is issued, and it's the aftercare that comes with the product. So needs and wants could be very wide. Effective marketing helps the business to satisfy the needs and demands of its target market. Well, that's effective marketing. Presumably ineffective marketing is not the type of marketing we want to talk about because it doesn't work. So effective marketing helps the business to satisfy the needs and demands of its target markets. This may be achieved by producing products and services that satisfy the customer's requirements. Satisfying the customer requirements is exactly what marketing is aimed at. But as the definition from the Chartered Institute of Marketing pointed out, it's satisfying the customer requirements at a profit. So it is also looking to the business and to the objectives of the business in terms of its budgeting, its financial calculations, its financial position, its profitability. It's looking to the business, but it's also looking to the customers. So it can't be too idealistic and just meet the customer's objectives. If it can't do it at a profit, then perhaps the business is not viable, and that would be the feedback from the marketing team, that the requirements of the customers are so complex or so onerous that it can't be produced at a profit, therefore that is the end. The marketing function undertakes market analysis and planning. The marketing function must know the market. It must know what the customers are doing, what trends are in the marketplace, and what are the fashions, and what are the requirements of the customers. It can't make decisions without the information, so it must do research. And marketing principles suggest that all business decisions should focus on the needs and wants of the customer. Now, I've emphasized many times throughout this slide and previous slides the needs and wants of the customer. That seems to be the essential focus of marketing. That's what marketing is focused on, the needs and wants of the customer. But in the background, it also looks to the profitability of the product, because the salaries of the marketing people and the whole existence of the business is paid out of the markup that they achieve in the marketplace. So, but that's what the function is. It's looking at the needs and wants of the customer. The market-orientated organization must balance the way it operates to provide customer satisfaction as well as achieving its own business objectives. That's really going back to the Chartered Institute of Management definition again. It's meeting customer satisfaction but also achieving its own business objectives. Very important. So it requires action as well as planning. So a marketing function is not just planning, but it's doing. It's doing things. It's addressing the market requirements actively to gain the sales that will generate the revenue that will affect the finance of the business and the profitability of the business. It's an important function of management. Its focus is the identification, satisfaction and retention of customers. If the business doesn't have customers, the business does not exist. So marketing is essential for the survival of the business. So marketing aims at meeting the changing demands of customers. The concept of marketing implies that the customer is the most important person in the business. The customer determines whether the business succeeds in its mission. So it's the customer that's important. Marketing is a functional part of a business, and it operates in accordance with other business activities. It does sit amongst the other functions of the business: finance, personnel, production, and so on. But without marketing, without customers customer satisfaction and the perception of the product in the marketplace, a positive perception of the product in the marketplace, there would not be a business. So the marketers must have the ability to understand the customers and their demands. Now this short video has emphasized over and over and over the importance of customer satisfaction, and also looking at the Chartered Institute of Management definition, it's the customer satisfaction at a profit. In other words, that customers are happy, customers are satisfied, and yet the business makes a profit. And that really is the function of marketing. So, short class, very important to understand the nature of marketing. Perhaps more research could be conducted into this area. There are lots and lots of sites online that produce a lot of good material on insights into marketing and worth consulting. In the meantime, that's all I want to say about this topic, so thank you for watching.